Greetings, dear judges. We're Tad Bear, and today we're going to talk about a humanitarian problem, especially the racism in America. Hi, I'm Jason.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Ada.
I'm Rex.
Racism has always been a serious and controversial issue in America. Nowadays, the racism issue has been raised again because of the death of Floyd.
On May 25, 2020, African-American George Floyd was abduced by the police. An officer put his knees on his neck for almost 9 minutes, causing him to suffocate and pass away in agony. Due to the issue, tens of millions of people took to the street and cried out, "Black Lives Matter." The protests spread like wildfire all over the U.S.
So now let's talk about the history part and try to find out how this situation was constructed. In August 1619, the first Africans were shipped in deplorable condition to America to work on plantations. And this kind of situation just happened again and again in the coming 200 years, to the year of 1861, the year of the Civil War. Liberating the labor is what the North won, who won the war. So the Proclamation of Emancipation came out, which means all Americans have equal rights. After that, Americans into the area of Reconstruction. However, things doesn't go as planned. There is still severe restriction on the people of black. After all this time, the stereotype between white and black is stuck and remain in all Americans' mind.
Now let's talk about nowadays situation of African Americans. First of all, African Americans are inclined to have lower life expectancy than other races. Following is a graph that indicating African American holds the lowest life expectancy in the USA. Why is that so? It is because we suppose that they used to work in hazardous environment and engaging in high-risk works. Next, education gap. Due to the lack of resources, they have an enormous education gap between the whites and the others. Lower income. Due to the low education, they were only paid a small amount of money. As the diagram shows, African American has the low household income was the lowest in the USA. High unemployment rate. As you can see, even though the unemployment rate has declined from time to time, however, African American still stands the highest. Higher criminal rate. All these four factors above can induce crimes. And tons of African Americans deal with drugs, firearms, or other illicit activities. The criminal rate of African American are nearly 60%, and the high criminal rate can reinforce the discrimination against them. As we find out the situation nowadays, it is also our duty to explore a few solutions to it.
Actually, racism and discrimination happen around us all the time. Often it is in the form of jokes, stereotypes, insensitive comments or questions from our friends, family, or even colleagues. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights has indicated that all human beings are born in equal and free in dignity. However, the history of our world has seen too many crimes of hate and discrimination. In our opinion, the best way to fight against discrimination is through education. Educators can show the stories of Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, or others who fought against racism. As for us, we can call out racist jokes or statements to reduce prejudices and biases whenever they happen in our daily life. It is our responsibility to embrace racial and cultural diversity in order to have a better global village. Thanks for listening.
is Q&A section.
Fun.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. It's quite inspiring and quite informative. I like the way you conclude your presentation, especially you raise that education is the main solution to this problem. So now this is my question. Is there any example of stereotype you can find in our society, and what kind of educational solution you can suggest to the government or to the authority concerned? Thank you.
Actually, in our daily life, just like our homeroom teacher, he thinks that girls cannot be the legal teacher for the teacher who from another buildings and to another buildings from our classroom, because he thinks that girls run slower than boys. So he thinks that it's not acceptable for girls to do that. But I think that girls can run faster than boys, because some boys may run slower than girls. So it's not a reason that he thinks that girls can be the little teacher for others' teacher. Yeah, it is the stereotype happen in our daily life. And actually, he is a civic teacher. Yeah, and in our civic book, and it has talked about that teachers cannot have a stereotypes between boys and girls, but he just do that. Yeah.
Maybe it's just a joke. But you said stop joking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a very good solution. Actually, you have raised that. But in the States, George Floyd, that was very big issue. It started the Black Lives Matter, right? But before George Floyd, a lot of black people was already killed because of racism. But right now it's Asian. There's also the hate for Asia, right?
Yeah.
If you're Chinese looking, or how do you say that, not as brown as they expect you to be, then you will also be discriminated, which is very bad. So give me one way to really stop discrimination.
I think the best way is to raise awareness of the equality of in different races, because we all the same human.
Yeah, that's the first human right. We are all born equal, and you should put that in the head of everybody that we are all equal. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.